Bulletcast for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 23-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today, the Pod Father. Yes, I am the Canadian sympathizer on the show. I now hail from the Six. Shout out Toronto, shout out Drake, shout out the Raptors. But you know he's on the line. He's my tag team partner, the Jimmy to my J, the Tully to my Arn, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T, the Christian to my Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the current reigning, defending, first ever, and 7-time Bulletcast champion, the host of the award-winning Under the Radar, host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots. Ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon Tan Guma. How's it going, man?
It's going okay. Not gonna lie, might be a little sick, but the OGs out there know that I'm still Mr. No Days Off.
Oh, the OGs. Are the OGs repping the OC?
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly. We don't know. We don't know. All right, but we're gonna hop into it. Episode 134, man. We're really doing the damn thing here.
Yes, we are.
Yes, King of the Ring, the real Game of Thrones. I don't acknowledge that other. All right, this is a real Game of Thrones. If you don't like it, come at me. Here we go. Outside of the ring. So it was speculated. It's been made official. NXT is officially moving to the USA Network in a couple weeks, September 18th, 2019. Brandon, you're the resident NXT guy on the show. What are your thoughts about this, man? NXT making such a big jump.
Well, I think it was last week we talked about them going to FS1, and then now it seems as though they USA Network kind of stole it away from FS1, which I mean, I don't know if it's better or worse that it's on USA compared to FS1, but I mean, I'm a little scared because it's going to be 2 hours live every Wednesday from Full Sail, and there's reports or rumors, and I don't know what's true and what's not, that maybe Vince McMahon's going to get his grubby little hands on NXT.
So here's the thing with that. Reports have been swirling around, and Triple H has commented on it that he will still have full creative control over NXT because the XFL is coming up pretty soon, 2020, and Vince is really going to be tied up with that. Not to mention the creative direction he has for Raw and SmackDown. So basically, Vinnie Mac don't got time for NXT.
Well, I hope that is the case, but I mean, it's you're going to double the NXT intake, and NXT is still a developmental system. Yes, there are a lot of well-trained, well-versed indie wrestlers that have been wrestling for a long time that they could have more opportunities now because, for the most part, not usually, everyone's not on the show, which is something I love about NXT is you can see somebody 1 week and then you're not going to see them for like another 2 weeks. Maybe you get them on a video package or something like that. But now that it's 2 weeks or 2 hours, now I'm thinking, there's going to be more higher echelon matches, which is a good thing, I guess. There's going to be better matches, I think, on the show. But they're going to also probably, have, there's going to be more people on the show every single week, and that's going to maybe devalue them or, their appearances aren't going to be as special. So, I mean, maybe this means there's going to be people that get more opportunities, but maybe that means there's going to be people who shouldn't have been on NXT, like, the Performance Center people that are going to be on NXT now that maybe shouldn't or get rushed to NXT because now they have so much time to fill.
Yeah, I mean, I brought up the whole thing about SmackDown, and I threw out a whole bunch of names that we don't see quite possibly every week. I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw Shinsuke up until last night on WWE programming. I think when he won the title, I think it was the last time we saw him, which was, Extreme Rules. But yeah, man, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of all the men and women who perform for NXT, especially with the current class and crop of talent that NXT has right now with your Garganos and your Adam Coles and the whole Undisputed Era, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Candice LeRae. So they have a lot of great talent down there, and I think they're going to do just fine. And, I still don't believe everybody has to be on that show every single week. Like, back in the day, I don't think we understand how rare it was that people saw a Hulk Hogan or something. Like, you saw him when the title was on the line, basically, or if he did a promo. You can have video packages. Adam Cole doesn't need to wrestle every single week. He can cut an in-ring promo. He can cut a backstage promo, but we don't need to physically see him in a match every single week. So I think stuff like that's gonna be just fine.
I mean, I hope so. It's just, when you have an hour, there's only so much time that you have to fill. I mean, honestly, it's like a 50-minute show, so you can't put every single person on the show. You can't have every single storyline on the show, but now you have it to 2 hours. Yes, maybe the matches are going to be a little more elongated, but with NXT, a lot of the matches for the most part are like squash matches. So are you going to have even more squash matches? Are you going to have more 50-50 back and forth matches? And I know I'm the resident NXT guy, but when the Wednesday Night Wars come about in the first week of October, I'm still going to watch AEW live.
Oh no, that's gonna be history. So I will be watching AEW live as well. But NXT the first week it does jump to USA live. I am going to watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see what that feels like. I don't think I've ever watched a quote unquote live to tape NXT show ever. Yeah.
Usually I never watch it live on the network either because that's the beauty of the network. And that's also another thing is like how does this affect the network? Is it going to be on and is it going to be on the WWE network, a few days from now as soon as it's done, a month like Raw and SmackDown are. So that's also another reason because NXT is quite possibly the number one or number two reason why people subscribe to the network.
That's very true. That's very true. Well, we're gonna keep it rolling. Roman Reigns signs a new deal with WWE. I mean, this really isn't big news to anybody. Where else is the big dog gonna go? But besides the biggest company in the world of sports entertainment, don't know the logistics of the deal, but the big dog's sticking around. Brandon.
Yeah, I heard that it's a 5-year deal, which I think is kind of the last remaining years of his full-time, you know, his full-time years. 'Cause I think by that time he'll be like in his late 30s. So, this is kind of the big dog's last full-time contract, possibly. And I mean, as you said, it's not really shocking. I don't think we're gonna get a Shield reunion in AEW with whatever Joe and John Moxley, but I mean, good for him. Hopefully, I mean, I did think it was a good week from this week, so hopefully he's on the come up now.
2024 G1. Joe Wanawali wins it. I'm calling it right now.
Okay, hopefully we're still doing this, and I'll hold you to that.
Oh, I think we'll still be around. I think so. I think episode 500 is when I officially hang it up.
You said that for episode 100, but
I
we'll
thought
finish.
about it, but somebody needs to lead the evolution in this audio revolution, Brandon. And who else is gonna do it but me?
I mean, I could have tried to do it.
I, I mean, but we're a tandem. We're a nice duo. We're like Keenan and Kale. We're like OJ and the Bronco. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. We're gonna move on from that.
Which
So,
one am I? Am I Keenan or am I Kel?
oh, I thought you were gonna. I'll be Keenan. I'll be Keenan. You could be Kill. I think you like orange soda,
So,
don't you?
so I'm actually the funnier one, but you're the one that gets more success.
Okay, Keenan is funny. Hold on, bro.
Yeah, but Kel's the funnier one.
You know
Just
what?
Keenan went on to do bigger and better things than Kel.
It's all very true. You know what? We're probably gonna have to go to the Good Burger restaurant in L.A. and talk about this over a Good Burger with some Ed sauce.
I guess he'll, of course, with a large orange soda.
Yes, open till the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Go check that out. Kel was just at Silicon Valley Con, where Steve Austin was this past weekend in San Jose.
And if you wanted to drop a rack to meet Steve Austin, you could have done that. Unfortunately, I did not have the finances to do so.
Same here, but straight up Steve Austin, Monday night, Sal Vulcano from Impractical Jokers. Great episode.
Yeah, well, I mean, I really like the Stone Cold show. Hopefully, it gets renewed. It's kind of the Netflix thing where it's celebrities talking to celebrities, but it's a good fun time.
Yeah, Steve Austin took a couple bumps. I'm like, oh man, gave me a little feel spot real quick. Then he stunned. That was Lance from New Japan, right?
I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
We don't know. But he stunned a guy and I popped huge for it. All right, so Edge on a possible comeback. Now Edge has been, besides Steve Austin, the only person who has actually truly stayed retired in the world of professional wrestling. He said this on his podcast. I'm gonna read it. When I first found out about my retirement speech, I said what I knew I wanted to say at that point. I've since learned a lot more and know what my limitations actually are, said Edge. Hitting the spear isn't one of them. To be perfectly honest, I think I could do a match tomorrow, the former WWE champion continued. I might be blown up by the time I get through with it, but I think I could do one. I know what the WWE medical staff told me and what they won't allow me to do, and that's just fine. Uh, Edge also talked about how they said his neck could be fully healthy within the 5 year span, and he retires in 2011, so it's been well over 5 years. Brandon, what are your thoughts about the rated R superstar possibly making a return to in ring action?
Well, I know my mother would be very happy because Edge is my mother's favorite wrestler for reasons I'm not going to get into.
Oh, he's
But
Canadian. That's why.
of course. But I mean, it's a neck injury. Neck injuries aren't anything to scoff at and take lightly. So if the doctors completely clear him and if he feels fine, then I guess I'm okay with it. But it's almost kind of like a Dana Bryan or a Page or a Shibata where you're gonna. I mean, they could get cleared, but there's always gonna be in the back of my mind like, okay, they could possibly get seriously injured if they wrestle. So I mean, hopefully Edge knows what he knows his body better than anybody. So I think he could get through a match and it could be better than a Goldberg match, which isn't saying a lot, but I think it can be better than that.
I mean, it quite possibly could. My mother actually just gave me her top five favorite wrestlers of all time. Brandon, can I just throw them out here real quick?
Sure, indulge me.
John Cena, Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, Edge, and then she has the Usos at number five.
Maybe I'll ask my mother and I'll get you her top five next week.
I don't think my mother liked Edge. Shout out Mama Podfather. I dig it. But yeah, man, I loved Edge. I loved his character. We're gonna talk about Edge when we get to this day in wrestling. But I mean, I'd love to see him back. But if he never actually comes back, I'm perfectly fine with that. Being one of the few that have actually truly stayed retired, I 100% respect that. I really do. But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Tony Schiavone. He signs with All Elite Wrestling. Not really a big surprise, because he's been at these StarCast events that have been going on, which StarCast apparently isn't linked to AEW, but all the AEW stars have meet and greets there. But what are your thoughts on the former voice of WCW Monday Nitro joining All Elite Wrestling?
I think it's a good move. I think Tony Schiavone has done a good job being like the guy in the control center during these Road to All Outs and all these other shows that are promoting the AEW show. So I really like him. He could be kind of the B announcer, or he can fill in for Jim Ross if he ever needs to. But I don't think he ever really wants to be that kind of announcer because I think he's still doing like minor league baseball. So he can, occasionally jump in and do some wrestling stuff, and he can be in the control center and do stuff like that. Maybe he's a backstage interviewer, but I really like Tony Schiavone. I think he's definitely an underutilized or underappreciated person in the pro wrestling industry the past 20 years.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can watching old Nitros. I can just even now I can just hear Tony Schiavone's voice. So Uh, and plus he hasn't really done anything since Nitro. I mean, I don't. Did he go to TNA? I don't believe so. So
No, he's someone who just kind of, once he was done with wrestling, he was done with wrestling. He never really came back to it.
yeah. So I commend him for that. It'd be nice to get a little bit of the old, because we have Jim Ross and now we're gonna have Tony Schiavone in the mix. So AEW, they're really swooping up talent. Apparently WWE was interested in Tony, but Tony Khan swiped him up.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Schiavone, I think, is a really good announcer. He's really versatile because if you see him from the 80s on, he did practically every announcing gig you can really think of. So he can do it all.
He can do it all. All right, the next two cities for All Elite Wrestling have been announced. On Wednesday, October 23rd, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the Peterson Event Center. That's where they're going to be at. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Start time is 7:30 p.m. And then the week after that, the day before Halloween, October 30th, Charleston Coliseum in West Virginia. So it's AEW. They're really sticking to that West Coast, East Coast vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, just kind of similar to WWE. They kind of work their way across the country in one span, and then because, now they're going from the East Coast, the Northeast, now they're going to move their way to the South, and maybe by the end of the year, they'll make it over here to the West Coast. But I think the Pittsburgh show is definitely going to sell a lot. I'm pretty sure the West Virginia show is going to sell out. It's always just kind of interesting at this point to see how fast they sell out, especially with that West Virginia show being, the furthest south show that they've done thus far. So probably a lot of people are going to come up north to see that show. But I mean, I'm just waiting for AEW to hit that wall, and they haven't done it yet. So
They have not. Adam Page, a Virginia boy. I'm just waiting for them to come over here to the Bay, man. I mean, we're going, right?
Of course, but just waiting because they're probably going to go to West Virginia, then North Carolina, South Carolina, then to Florida. Alabama got to go to Georgia, and they're probably going to go up and
It's true.
back down, and so maybe we're not going to be they're not going to come here until 2020, but I'll be patiently waiting.
I don't know, man. I think December we might get him. I do believe that might happen.
We get like the Christmas special.
Oh, I love it. All right, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson gets married to his longtime girlfriend. Shout out Rocky, tying the knot again.
Shout out to The Rock. I think they have like what 2 kids together, so
Something like
making
that, yeah.
one big happy family now.
I forget The Rock has children. Like, I forget Chris Jericho has children.
And his oldest, I think, just turned 18 or something like that. Because I think Selena Vega posted some photos, and so shout out to The Rock having a hell of a week.
Having a hell of a week. All right, we're going to talk about Nia Jax. She removes WWE handles from her social media. She's just using her real name. Is this just to get attention, or is there some serious problems going on with Nia Jax and World Wrestling Entertainment?
I mean, I don't think this has anything to do with her leaving the company or jumping ship, but because I think there are a lot of wrestlers these days that have kind of gone away from their work names and having their real names out there, maybe to get some extra publicity or to get modeling or whatever it is they want to do. And Nia Jax, obviously, she's been a model, so people out there probably know her real name, and they can reach her if they want to, but I'm not going to read anything into it because I think there's been a few times where someone, I mean, like I think Alexa Bliss, like her real name, Lexi Kaufman's out there. She's not trying to hide it, so it's just kind of something that wrestlers do these days. I'm not a fan of it. I wish you just kind of keep to your worker name, but that's just the way the business is right now.
Yeah, keep to your gimmick name. Like, I don't let anybody call me by my shoot name in public. It has to be Podfather. If you don't say that, I don't acknowledge you.
You got to live the gimmick, brother.
Exactly, man. That's what I'm trying to tell these people. All right, so Ronda Rousey, she's getting back into the acting world. She will be on the Fox series 911, the crime drama series. And while she was shooting, she almost lost her finger. Brandon, have you seen this photo?
I have seen the photo, and she posted on her YouTube channel a video of her kind of explaining what happened, and she was apparently supposed to like open a boat door, a gimmick boat door, and the door like closed back on her, and she thought, oh, she just like squashed her fingernail or something. Like what happens if you close a car door on your finger? But no, if you saw the finger, the damn thing almost fell off.
Yeah, I mean, I threw it on our story, the Bulletcast story on Instagram. People are like, "Oh my god, that's disgusting." I'm like, it looked okay. Like it didn't gross me out, but it was still like, goddamn.
And she finished the scene like a trooper. So she
She,
she knows she knows sold it and finished the scene. So if
hey,
you
that's all
want
we.
to watch this season of 911 and try to find the exact moment where Ronda Rousey almost lost her finger.
That's all we can really ask for from people like Ronda Rousey. All right, last up, Tessa Blanchard calls a fan a piece of ish. So I guess Tessa just bought a new car and she put this on Twitter. No matter the circumstances, no matter who says, no matter who stays or who goes, no matter what in life throws at you, live your life like to the Jesus, I can't talk, to the best or fullest or whatever. And then some guy put on there, "Hope you don't floor it like your stepdad," obviously referring to Magnum TA in his car accident, which stopped his career and he can't walk anymore. So yeah. Then she proceeded to reply to the fan, calling him a piece of ish.
I mean, she's right on that one. So
Yeah, guys, don't be. If you're not gonna say it to the person's face, don't
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 be stupid, stupid.
yeah don't be a troll on Twitter. Come on, guys, or any form of social media. Let's not do that. All right, we're gonna get into this day in wrestling. So there was a Nitro on this day in 2000. I believe Booker T defended the WCW title that day. I can't remember against who. There was a Raw on this day in 2000. Triple H and Kurt Angle had to subside their differences because they had to team up with each other later that night. SummerSlam 2005. This is the Hulk Hogan Shawn Michaels match, which is probably the greatest selling performance by any performer in the world of professional wrestling history. Shawn was selling all over the damn place.
Speaking of trolling,
Speaking of trolling, yes. There was a Raw on this day in 2006. This is synonymous with Edge because he has Lita throw John Cena's spinner WWE Championship into a bed of water, and then he debuts the spinning rated R Superstar Championship. Loved it. Jeff Hardy also made his return on this show, and then later in the night, John Cena throws Edge into that same bed of water, which turned out to be the Long Island Sound. Yeah, man, quite a bit of history in that show.
A lot of history on that Raw.
Yes. Also, there was a SummerSlam on this day in 2016. It is the birth of the Universal Championship. Finn Balor defeats Seth Rollins to become the first ever champion. You also had Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton that ended in a TKO. You had Dean Ambrose as WWE champion. John Moxley going up against Dolph Ziggler. Uh, yeah, man. This is also when Roman Reigns was in his U.S. title feud with Rusev. Any thoughts
I'll
on
be honest, I don't remember about Roman Reigns and Rusev having a feud, but
any,
there's a lot of things that I don't remember.
any thoughts on this SummerSlam though?
I mean, I think from what I remember, it was a decent enough SummerSlam, but nothing really stands out to me. I think the 2005 SummerSlam stands out a little bit more because that's the Dominic on a ladder on a pole match.
Oh my
Basically,
God, yeah.
you got Matt Hardy versus Edge. You got Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan. So that SummerSlam 2005 is definitely one of the more historic ones.
Yeah. Since it's its 3 year anniversary, Brandon, what are your honest thoughts about the WWE Universal Championship?
Well, I mean, there's still, I think, a lot of work to be done to have that championship to have some prestige. If it was me, I think there's too many title belts, and that's one of the first ones I would take away is that Universal title belt. But I mean, I'm not one of those ones that just thinks it's atrocious. It's red. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of other titles on there that are red, so it's definitely not up there with the WWE Championship, the IC title, and even the US title because I think that has a lot of prestige as well. So, yeah, I'm not completely opposed to it, but I'm not in love with it either.
Would you say that the 24/7 title is more over than the Universal title?
Well, right now it's on Elias, so I don't think people are really begging for Elias to have a nice deep run with the 24/7 title. So
Dude, I'm waiting for somebody to have a long run with the 24/7 title. Maybe it could be Elias.
maybe it could be, but I'm waiting for like Matt Hardy to take it, and it gets taken into the Broken Universe.
Oh man, let's get creepy with it. I dig it. Well, we got some birthdays. Eve Torres, the former three-time Divas champion, she's 35 years old today. And then Ro from the Viking War Raider Experience. I won't say his new name because it's atrocious. He's 35 years old today.
Happy birthday, Eve Torres. I really liked her back in the day.
I did. I loved Eve Torres. Her.
She's a Gracie now, so she's MMA royalty.
She is. Well, what was her theme song? I forgot, but it was kind of a bop. You know, a lot of those Divas theme songs back in the day were straight bops. We're gonna get into our fan mail segment. Jack of all trades, King Fiend, make it happen. I think Bray Wyatt should enter the 2019 King of the Ring tournament, take out somebody, and just run with it. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I don't think that's a legal move that the Fiend could just attack somebody and just take their spot. But I mean, I think the King of the Ring moniker is definitely a more heel moniker, and I think we're going to see that the more heelish favorites in here are going to probably be the ones that are actually going to win, especially since I really thought Kevin Owens, maybe I didn't think Kevin Owens was going to win, but I really wanted him to win, but we can talk about that a little bit later.
Oh no, King Corbin all day.
I'm scared about that because I think a lot of people think that's going to happen. But, I mean, The Fiend, I think you just kind of stay away from the whole King in the Ring gimmick, and apparently he's the legend killer now, so good on him for that one.
All right, Alfie Lewis. What's your go-to condiment while eating fries or chicken fingers? Oh, or chicken tenders. Okay. Brandon, what's your go-to condiment?
Well, I'm not opposed to any condiment except for like mayonnaise. I ain't dipping anything in mayonnaise, or not mayonnaise. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
very big in Canada. I'm gonna have to try it.
Well, that's the reason why I don't do that.
Oh,
But
okay.
if we're gonna pick one, chicken nuggets or whatever, I gotta go barbecue sauce. And if we're going fries, ketchup or mustard. I'm a fan of the mustard. I know some people might not like that, but maybe ketchup for the fries and barbecue sauce for the chicken nuggets.
I mean, Brandon's had many dinner with me at Denny's after wrestling shows. I'm a ranch and honey mustard guy. I have to have them at the same time while I'm eating my delicious burger and fries. But when they intersect, when they intertwine, oh my God, you're talking about a good time.
Shout out to Szechuan sauce.
Oh, shout out to the
Fan,
Szechuan sauce.
fantastic.
You know what's sneaky good? Ketchup and mayonnaise together. My grandmother made this salad dressing once when I was a child. I thought it was delicious. I was like, "What is this?" She told me she mixed up ketchup and mayonnaise, and add some pepper. You're in for a good time.
Pretty sure that's fancy sauce from Step Brothers.
It might be. I don't think my grandmother's ever seen Step Brothers though.
Shout out Step Brothers.
Shout out Step Brothers. All right.
Greatest Will Ferrell movie ever. I'll say it.
I'm not really a Will Ferrell guy.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I know. Jack of all trades. Have you guys ever have a wrestling related dream that felt really real? Uh,
I apparently need to start like keeping a dream journal so I can remember these type of things. Because I mean, if it's not like a dream within like the past like day or two, I'm probably not gonna remember it, to be honest.
I had one about a year and a half ago. King of the Ring '98, Hell in the Cell. I was in the mankind position. As soon as I take the table spot bump, I wake up. Yeah, I guess that's the only one I can think of. Yeah. So
I don't know. Maybe I like dreamt about me being like back at WrestleMania or like some show I was at, but I don't really. Nothing's coming to mind right now.
I know, right? Hootie Who 420.
Oh, Hootie Who? Usually he's first. You saved him for so long.
Now,
I was scared he. I was scared he didn't answer. He didn't email us or something.
he's actually emailed us quite a bit for this show. If Corbin wins King of the Ring, I'm leaving the country and I'm going to Japan. I won't be able to deal with it.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying.
I don't know about all that. Alfie Lewis. Oh wow, he's blowing up the DMs. What song or songs are your guilty pleasures? Mm.
I really don't have. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure for me. I will say it with pride that I like something like Bachelor in Paradise, the Bachelor and Bachelorette shows. People say it's a guilty pleasure. I don't care. I'll watch that stuff. But you know, maybe something that people would say is a guilty pleasure is NSYNC. I love NSYNC. First concert I ever went to. It's
Wow,
amazing.
wow. Um, Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle. That's just a bop. Vanessa Carlton, Thousand Miles. Love that song to death. I do enjoy. I think I'll go Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way, something like that. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
This is an NSYNC podcast. We don't talk about the Backstreet Boys here.
I mean, if this is just an NSYNC podcast, then bye. See what I did there? Yeah, yeah. I'm out here. I'm cultured, Brandon.
Good job, Philip.
Yes, thank you. What else we got? Oh, Hootie Who 420.
Hootie Who again. There we go.
Philip was right. Buddy Murphy is an effing star. I've been trying to tell you people. Oh, we got a new one. We got a new guy.
Uh oh.
Robert Walker. Thoughts on Orton's Legacy 2.0 group with the revival? I like it. I enjoy it. I don't know if they're going to be called Legacy 2.0. Maybe forever.
Dawson's Creek.
Oh my God, I'd pop so huge for that. We got the OC. We got Dawson's Creek. Brandon, don't tempt me.
I mean, do like this threesome of the revival and Randy Orton. I do.
Oh,
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a good pairing. I think it's definitely helping the revival. And people saying, they're going to bury the revival because maybe the revival's going to leave. But I think they're in a nice little spot right here with Randy Orton. And I mean, they're a good, solid heel group. I think they definitely kind of coexist, them all kind of being old school guys in a sense. So I like the pairing.
hey, forever the RKO. That's all I got to say about it. Oh, wait, Hootie Who, 420, one more time.
Hootie Who.
Wow, this is I don't know if I want to read this one.
I think you got to read it now. Now I'm curious.
Philip pops more than every girl in my graduating class on prom night.
But
Mm. I, I guess I'll take that one.
So does that mean Hootie Who gets around?
I I don't even know how old that guy is. I mean, dude was he said it was from the UK. I do remember that part. All right. I know Copenhagen. He slid into the DMs or something like that, right?
He's always sliding. He's like Ricky Henderson.
Like Ricky Henderson, always sliding into the DMs. All right. Let's see what this is. I can barely even read this message. Why is it like that?
Surprised you even know who Ricky Henderson is, Philip.
Oh, I'm cultured, like I said. Guys, there have been some weird moments of convo on the show. It's different. Not sure how I feel about it. P.S. The line about Alexa Bliss experiencing BM popped for it. Uh, I think the weirdness kind of adds to the show. Don't you think so, Brandon?
And he must have loved our talk about chicken nuggets and condiments.
Oh yes. He responded to me on Twitter about my Baron Corbin thing. He also DM'd us, "Yo, Philip, what's up with Corbin for your King of the Ring pick? Could you imagine King Corbin? I'd love every minute of it, man. All hail King Corbin."
I mean, I would be okay with him winning King of the Ring if that just means he's going to be a silly King gimmick and he's just going to be the lower card like, King Barrett and whatever, William Regal or whoever. So if this means Baron Corbin moves down the card after winning King of the Ring, I'm okay with it, but we all know that's not going to be the case.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. So, in Brightest Day X, our graphic designer, this is the last one. After two good matches with Roman and then now with the American Dragon, is the future looking bright for Buddy Murphy? Absolutely, man. I love Buddy Murphy. I've been trying to tell you people for months now that this guy's an effing star. Hootie Who finally agrees with me after insulting me. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Buddy Murphy, Brandon?
I mean, I think he's a really good talent. He was on 205 Live, and now I guess he kind of got the call up going on to SmackDown. And I mean, he's had really good matches. He beat Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, which I think is a good sign because I think if he were just to have really good matches with Roman and Daniel Bryan and still lose, then I'd be kind of weary. But they have the confidence in him to get the win. Maybe this means Daniel Bryan's just going to get his win back and it's 50-50 booking. But I think with him being in this whole Roman Reigns storyline, I could see possibly, Roman Reigns and Buddy Murphy teaming up and going up against Roman and Rowan. So I think Buddy Murphy's definitely in a spot right now to be elevated.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. All right. So, why did Roman's dad attack Roman? In other words, what the hell was the end of that segment? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that when we get to SmackDown. Lastly, Goldberg, the greatest spear of all time or the greatest spear ever? Like I said, Edge has the greatest spear of all time. No questions asked. Do not argue with me with any of that. We know what's up.
Goldberg, I think he has the best wrestling spirit of all time because he's a football player. He knows how to tackle. It looks fantastic.
Does he really?
Yes. Maybe Caitlin's a close second.
Maybe Caitlyn is a. Caitlyn did have a nice spear. Celeste Bonin. Yeah, she did have a nice spear. You're right. All right, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. So, Braun Strowman is facing AJ Styles for the United States Championship. It ends in a DQ. Seth Rollins comes out and makes a save. And this all results in a tag team title match between Rollins and Strowman going up against the OC, the only club, the original club, Gallows and Anderson. And it results in Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins winning the Raw Tag Team Championships. Seth Rollins is like a multiple time dual champion.
I believe this is his third time becoming a dual champion.
Yeah, fourth tag title reign overall.
So, I mean, the only time he's tag team champion besides the first reign that he had with Roman Reigns. See what I did there? He's always a dual tag team champion. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyways, I think it was, a good little story. Maybe the OC was hurt by this because they did look kind of weak against Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. But they're definitely going down the route of, the two-man power trip or, the tag team main eventers breaking up. And I mean, I don't know if this is going to lead to a Braun Strowman heel turn or if we're just going to have, two baby faces go after each other and it's just going to be you got to pick a side. But I think they are doing a good job kind of rehabilitating Braun Strowman right now because he hasn't really been doing anything, for the past month or two.
Yeah. So is Braun, is he just a tag team wrestler? Is that the only title he can win?
I mean, I think we're at the stay tuned to find out because I think Braun is really eyeing that Universal Championship, and maybe we're going to see him face Seth Rollins at Clash of Champions.
Honestly, if I was Braun, I wouldn't want that thing. I'd want what Kofi has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying that Braun Strowman, I wouldn't put the title on him just because he is kind of a one-note gimmick, and I don't know how you could really tell that story of him being a babyface. I mean, if he's a heel champion, I can see it, but if he's a babyface champion, I don't know how you put him in danger and you put him in peril, except for you keep running all these Roman Reigns angles where you try to kill him,
Look, just Braun Strowman 24/7 champion. There you go. That's what you do.
and nobody pins him, and he just holds it forever.
Exactly. Or you pin him under a forklift or something.
And you have like a camera on the forklift because apparently that's what WWE likes to do.
Yes, you got to record everything. Can't be too careful nowadays.
Shout out Drake because you got to get all them mother effing angles.
Now you want to shout out the Canadians.
I mean, is he really Canadian? I mean, he's like
He was born in
he.
Toronto. He's Canadian.
I know, but he's like every time there's like a big sporting event, he's like a Kentucky fan. He's like a Warrior fan. He's like a Duke fan. I mean,
I have never seen him wear Warriors gear. How dare you?
he's like best friends with Steph Curry, and he would always be at the side. He'd be like at the sidelines for the Warrior games when before the Toronto Raptors made it to the finals.
Okay. Well, first of all, look, let me tell you.
They went to In-N-Out one time, like in Alameda.
Drake was at In-N-Out in Alameda.
I don't know if it's in Alameda, but Steph Curry and Aisha went to In-N-Out with Drake.
If I had saw them, I would have popped teeth for it as always. But we're gonna keep going along. Sasha Banks attacks Natty. She explains why she did her dastardly do, and why she has that new blue do. And yeah, just attacks Natty, puts her arm in one of the drawers of a road case, and just kicks it in. And then she says, "Natty, you're gonna go to hell, and then tell your daddy I said hi." I'm like, oh my god, I loved it.
I mean, I did enjoy all the women's promos. I thought Natty was pretty good. I thought Sasha and Becky's promos were excellent. The I really like what Sasha's doing here. I mean, this is kind of the first real time we've seen her full-fledged heel, kind of similar to her NXT run, and I think she's doing a good job. I'm really excited for what the Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch are going to do.
I am also. It's the man versus the boss is a great story. I feel like does need to be told. But where does Natty go from here?
I think you kind of put her on the shelf for a little bit and maybe. I mean, I don't know what you do with Natty because she's kind of been there, done that with everything. You could kind of put her on the shelf and maybe once if Becky just kind of beats Sasha, you can have Natalya come back and have Sasha kind of be distracted by Natty, and you can have Sasha, beat her, and you can get her elevated a little bit that way. I mean, I don't know, but I think Natty is. I mean, I kind of like it because you have Sasha in kind of two feuds at one time, so you can get her distracted. Maybe Sasha faces Natty first, and then she faces Becky whenever. But maybe it's a triple threat match. Who knows?
Maybe it is a triple threat match. Who knows? Oh, XFL news: teams and logos have been revealed. Apparently.
Yes, I saw all 8 teams. Don't really care because none of them are in San Francisco or Oakland.
Oh wow! So you're just signing them off altogether.
Yep. I mean, I'll watch it. Not going to be excited to watch it because it's the XFL. I mean, the AAF lasted all but like 8 weeks and it folded. So
It did fold, huh?
yep, and that was supposed to be a better thing than the XFL, but we don't even know where the XFL is going to be on TV yet.
The USA. I'm just gonna.
USA and FS1.
It's all gonna be there. It's all going to be there. But yeah, we're gonna move on from all of that. We're gonna talk Roman Reigns defeating Dolph Ziggler yet again. Dolph is bumping for guys who don't have a greater spear than Edge. But yeah, thoughts on the match?
I thought this was a good week for Roman Reigns. I thought he came out and he kind of connected with the crowd maybe a little bit more than he normally does. The match was okay. And Roman goes over, of course, and Ziggler just continues to lose. So I don't know what you do with Ziggler from now on because I think he's so damaged. I don't know what you can do with him. You can't take him to NXT because I think if you have him go to NXT and he wrestles 50-50 with those guys, that damages them. So I don't know if you just cut bait with him, but then if he doesn't want to leave, he doesn't have to leave. So Who knows what they do with Ziggler?
If he had just beaten Goldberg, we wouldn't be having this problem. Like,
That might be the case, but Goldberg must spear and jackhammer.
to hell with Goldberg. To hell with Bill Goldberg. Yeah, I said it. I said it. I'm sorry. I apologize. No, but this was a damn good match. The spear that Roman hit on Ziggler looked good. Not as great as Edge, but it looked good. It looked decent. I don't
Not
know
as
what
good as Kaylin's.
not as good as Caitlin's. Shout out to Les Bonin. I don't know what you do with Dolph going forward. Maybe he takes some more time off. Maybe he goes down to NXT after he takes some time off. Kind of get a little, just take some personal time. Go do a little bit more comedy. By the way, if you haven't seen a Dolph Ziggler comedy tour, I highly recommend you go. It's a nice time. You get to meet Dolph Ziggler too. He's a great guy. Shout out DZ.
I think the only way you can like rehabilitate him is if he just completely like changes his gimmick. He like cuts the hair, you know, dyes it back to brown or something, and he's just like a completely different guy. If he's like, the amateur wrestling shooter, maybe. I mean, I don't know what you do with Ziggler at this point because he's just so damaged. He has to just have a complete overhaul, I think, if you're gonna have any sort of, salvage. If you're gonna salvage anything from him.
I don't know. Can we go back to being the show off like 2012? He won more then.
Maybe he can just go back to being like Kerwin White's caddy or something.
Oh God, let's not do any of that. I don't need to see that. I really don't.
Bring back Nikki.
Nikki. Oh my God. So we're gonna talk about the Fiend, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, just let's just listen to this, guys. This theme song is amazing. Yeah. So the Fiend, he goes on to attack Jerry the King Lawler while he was about to conduct a King's Court with Sasha Banks. That mandible claw is really getting over, huh?
Yeah, and if you're gonna play the Firefly Funhouse theme, I think you have to do it with the Young Boy number two singing it. I mean, that's the only way you can do it.
Oh my God, I forgot he did that.
You have to go. You have to go back in the archives and cut it and download it so you can have that as a drop.
What episode was that?
It's within the past 3 months. We can figure it out. Like we can. I think you can find it.
Oh God. Oh my Jesus Christ. That was, I forgot that happened. Oh God, it was something, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
something.
we just like to block that out of our memory.
Yes, absolutely.
We wish that was like the lost episode, but unfortunately it was not.
No.
And our millions of fans heard it.
Yes. What are your thoughts on the Fiend, man? Attacking JL.
I thought it was good. I mean, Jerry Lawler's a sympathetic figure. I thought he was smart in leaving the ring because he was like, "Oh, I know what's going to happen." But then, of course, he's like the dumb blonde in the horror movie that just stops and stares when you should have just ran away, Jerry. But I don't know what they're doing with him being the legend killer and attacking all these legends. Maybe they're just kind of holding court, no pun intended, with him because the Finn Balor thing's over. Maybe they're trying to find a different person to attack. I don't think we're going to see Jerry Lawler Bray Wyatt feud, but maybe we get like a Firefly Funhouse and he talks about like getting old or whatever and something like that, and they can kind of explain a reason why the Fiend keeps attacking all these old guys.
Yeah. Jerry Lawler should not have been a dumb blonde. He should have been a smart or scared brunette like Nev Campbell in Scream. Because, she went 4 movies without getting killed. It amazes me.
I'm gonna be honest, I never seen a Scream, even though I dressed up as Scream
Oh my-
for Christmas or for Christmas
For
for Halloween.
You were Ghostface for Christmas.
Yeah, I have.
Dude, I'm gonna be
I
the
have
fiend. I'm gonna be the
I have some
fiend for
issues.
Kwanzaa. Don't worry about it, bro.
All right, I appreciate it. I even had like the one where like you push the button and like blood comes through the mask. It was
Oh
amazing.
yeah. I was a Ghostface 4 years in a row.
Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface Scream. That's his name. His name is Ghostface.
As you can see, I don't watch Scream.
Yeah, man. I once got my costume early one year for Halloween, and I put it on, grabbed the fake knife that came in the packet, ran past some people in a car that were, yowie wowing, and they threw out $20, and then me and my friends went to Taco Bell. Yeah, it was a good time.
Okay, I was caned one time, and I can see the mask right now, standing on top. Old school Kane,
Oh,
the OG mask before he unmasked.
Kane never should have unmasked, by the way. We're gonna move on. So Ricochet and The Miz defeat future King Corbin and Drew McIntyre. The line where Renee says Ricochet's gonna make Miz a high flyer. That I was like, oh come on, Renee, no, no, no. Yeah. Any thoughts?
It was fine. It was, a decent enough tag match. So, I mean, I understand what they're doing of having the people not wrestling wrestle, and then I don't know if you have the other. I don't know why they just didn't have like all the first round matches on the show, but I guess because SmackDown's only 2 hours, you can't have all of the show. You can't have all the wrestling on that show. So maybe that's why they split it up into 2 weeks.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Well, speaking of the first round matchup, Samoa Joe defeats Cesaro. Hard hitting match. Love this match.
Yeah, it was good. The bump that Samoa Joe took at the beginning of the match with the uppercut was fantastic. And Joe winning, not really a surprise here. I thought Cesaro's promo was kind of goofy, but Joe has definitely been pushed a lot harder than Cesaro, so no shocker here that Samoa Joe won.
It is. It isn't. Especially, Cesaro, he's apparently has some kind of thing going on with Bobby Roode and EC3 on main event. I think they're called the main event Musclemen. I hope that's not really their name. I want to throw out a new name for them real quick. They all, I know they all like to wear suits and they enjoy the finer things in life. Let's tailor made or something like that. I don't know.
The main event Mafia. I don't think that name is taken, right?
No, no, no. That's for sure taken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tailor made, something like that. Because they have
Was
tailored
Bobby Roode in
suits.
main event Mafia? I don't even know.
No, he wasn't. Samoa Joe was in main event Mafia, and Booker T and Kevin Nash and Sting and Rampage Jackson was in main event Mafia.
Shout out Rampage. Back in the day when Impact had all those MMA people.
Yes, yes, yes. But we're gonna move on from that. Elias, he's gonna give his farewell concert, and R-Truth tries to intervene and pin him, but he is unsuccessful. Elias escapes with the 24/7 title.
I think this was probably one of the weaker 24/7 segments we've seen in a while. I think this fell pretty flat. I'm not high on Elias being 24/7 champion right now.
Nah, it's okay. I'm still gonna walk with him. His new theme song, by the way, not a fan.
Yeah, I did kind of notice on SmackDown that like, oh, he has a different theme song. It's a little edgier, I guess. But I didn't like this segment, but I did like the segment with Elias and Drake Maverick. I did think that was kind of funny.
Yes, yes, yes. So Rey Mysterio, he talks about how he's had a great career and he's about to unmask and hang it up, but his son Dominic shows up and they have a nice father-son moment, and then Rey's like, "All right, I'm gonna do it for you, son." What are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a good promo, maybe one of the honestly one of the better Rey Mysterio promos we've seen in WWE, just because they actually gave him time to talk. And I was wondering why they didn't do this in front of the camera or in front of the live audience, because I mean, I thought it would have made a little more sense, but it made a lot of sense once they put Dominic in there, because obviously they're not going to just throw him out there. Maybe this, was a pre-tape and they had to do this a few times, but I enjoyed it. I'm happy to see that they're actually telling a story with Rey Mysterio from last week and now this week. So maybe we're working towards Dominic debuting. Maybe Dominic turns on Rey. Maybe he joins the Andrade. I don't know where they're going, but I find it intriguing.
Yes, maybe Dominic joins El Idolo. It's gonna be interesting to see where this goes. We have another King of the Ring first round matchup, and it's Cedric Alexander advancing as he defeats Sami Zayn, another buried Canadian on the show.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why Cedric kind of just ran through Sammy that quickly, but I think it did make a little more sense on SmackDown now that it seems though Sami Zayn and Shinsuke are aligning.
That's very
It's,
true.
it's just something that WWE does. Oh, we have something planned for him, so we're just going to have him lose, and people will forget about it tomorrow.
Hopefully. We have the New Day defeat the Revival via DQ because Orton came out of nowhere with an RKO. And he was just dropping RKOs left and right. And then apparently the Revivalists shattered the ankle or leg or something of Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good, solid heel beatdown. Have the babyface's friend get attacked and have him sought out revenge. Pretty straightforward, pretty old school, you might say. So I enjoyed it.
I liked it as well. Anytime I get to see the three most deadly letters in all of sports entertainment, the RKO, I'll love every minute of it. Next up, you have the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, aka Twisted Bliss, defeat Fire and Desire of Sonya Deville and Rose.
Nobody got hurt. That's all I can ask for.
That's all we can ask for. Mandy Rose, when's she gonna win the woman's title? I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all that.
I think if it was up to Vince and Vince alone, she would be like, she'd be breaking Nikki Bella's record and AJ's record of longest women's championship.
Honestly, I'm all for every bit of that.
Starting to feel very underrated.
Oh, of course, that spine buster she hit gave me Arn Anderson flashbacks.
Shout out to Devaney's Donuts. I did not realize that they changed YouTube channels, so now I have to
What?
catch up on like the last 5 episodes of Devaney's Donuts.
What? I have been slacking on Mandy's Donuts. I need to look at Mandy's Donuts. All right, we're gonna move on. So we're gonna talk about Daniel Bryan. He said he knew who attacked Roman, and Daniel Bryan's truth was a lie, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of SmackDown, because Daniel Bryan had held a man in a room for quite some time during the whole show. Roman comes in there and they unmask him, and the dude looks exactly like Rowan. He looks like a janitor. He looks like Rowan's dad, as one of our fan mail questions said. What are your thoughts on this?
I thought this was so stupid. I thought it just fell completely flat. I think we've seen that a lot of people are intrigued in the who done a storyline with who tried to kill Roman Reigns, and then you just have a Rowan lookalike be revealed, I guess, as the attacker. So I'm hoping this isn't the end of the storyline. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I thought it was stupid, and it's just, especially with how SmackDown is doing it now, where like they have a match, and then they have like the segment, 3-4 minutes at the very end of the show, and then they just have the camera just linger on Roman for like I think way too long. Like that 10 seconds felt like a 3 minutes, and it's kind of fake. Like, wouldn't like the camera just be lingering on him, and wouldn't we know at least by today what exactly happened if Roman did anything or said anything or something? But yeah, I think it's just WWE's trying to do their telenovela style of storytelling right now.
WWE with that Days of Our Lives storytelling.
Maybe Stephanie McMahon has a little more extra say so than we thought we did. Than
Oh,
we thought. Because we know Stephanie loves lusciously looking into the camera, into the distance after a segment.
I do that too.
We're going to talk about Stephanie McMahon a little bit later.
We are going to talk about it a little bit later. But that wasn't the only thing Daniel Bryan did that night, because he took a big L to my boy, Buddy Murphy. By the way, Murphy's old theme song was so much better than this one. I'm just putting that out there.
I'll be honest, usually I just fast forward to the entrances. And
Oh my god, the entrances are the best part.
yeah, but it's WWE entrances. They're all the same. So once you've seen it, once you've seen them
How
all.
are they all the same?
I'm talking about once you've seen someone's entrance, once you've seen it every single time, because they just do the exact same thing every
Okay.
single time.
Are you telling
Standing.
Are you telling me you fast forward through the Undertaker's entrance?
Actually, sometimes I do because it takes forever.
Oh, Brandon, that hurt my heart.
My time is valuable, Philip.
You don't have time for the dead man?
Well, I mean, if he's going to take 5 minutes to walk down a 20-foot ramp, then
That's his character. That's the ambiance of the dead man. That's 25 years of storytelling. He's had hip replacements and knee surgeries, man. That's
I'll
all.
play it right. I'll play like right when he gets to the steps.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't skip everything.
But thoughts on Buddy effin' Murphy defeating the new Daniel Bryan?
I talked about it a little bit earlier. I thought it was a really good match, and with Buddy Murphy winning, I think this is a good sign for Buddy Murphy fans that he's going to get at least a push right now. I think we have to wait and see what he's doing at WrestleMania. If he's doing anything at WrestleMania, he's probably just going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. But I think right now, I think Buddy Murphy is getting a good solid push, and I think that's what is to be needed, because I think the heel side is desperately lacking. And who knows if he's going to be a heel or a babyface, because I'm thinking possibly, him teaming up with old big dog Roman Reigns.
That's all a great possibility. Buddy Murphy and Roman Reigns, SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions.
Quite possibly. I mean, you got Seth and Braun and Buddy Murphy and Roman.
All
Why
the
not?
all the odd couples are winning tag titles.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? You got to do that down at NXT. You got to do it at NXT UK. Yep. Yep. But we're going to talk about Kofi Kingston being stupid. Randy Orton just kept calling him stupid. Got hit with a Trouble in Paradise. The Revival come out. Kofi swinging chairs all over the place. And yeah.
I thought it was a good heel promo by Randy. Kofi comes out like a bat out of hell and just swinging the steel chair everywhere. Maybe a little bit downgrading to the Revival, but Kofi did have a chair, so it made sense for why he was able to stave him off. But I thought good, solid segment. It is what it is.
It is what it is, baby. We're going to move on from that. Kevin Owens has to talk with Shane McMahon about being fined $100,000 for hitting an official, that official being Elias. And, I was thinking about this last week, and I'm like, him being fined that much, I'm like, it doesn't really affect me because I don't know how much he makes. Like, if a football player gets fined like $500,000, I'm like, okay, but the dude makes like 13 million or something. You know what I mean? So, but Kevin Owens explaining, that's a mortgage, that's a college fund for my kids and stuff. I'm like, okay, now it's more believable, so to speak, why that would hurt his pockets, hurt his bank account. And Shane, he's thinking about reconsidering it. Thoughts on the promo segment?
The segment was okay. I mean, they're definitely trying to push Kevin Owens as the everyman type character, and Shane, thinking that reconsidering that he could possibly take back the fine, which we all know he's not. But I mean, it was okay. Maybe I think this was a step back in the Kevin Owens trajectory.
Yes, it was. We're going to talk about the King of the Ring first round as we have Andrade Cien almost defeating Apollo Crews. Very nice match by these boys.
I thought this was a good match as well. I think Apollo could be utilized a whole lot more, but Andrade obviously has been used more in the past few months. I thought Andrade was a Raw wrestler. Why is he in the SmackDown bracket?
Oh no, so when the Superstar Shakeup happened, he did go to Raw, but then they had to move him back to SmackDown because, with the Fox deal coming up, they wanted a Latin presence on the show.
Right, and then the Revival, who are Raw wrestlers, are challenging the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Okay.
This whole brand split thing is just...
Dude, look, hopefully they get back to a real brand split, man.
I don't know.
Hopefully they do. Because I know USA and Fox don't want Roman on both shows. He has to be on one.
I'm pretty sure that Fox and or USA would want the big dog on their show.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to wait to see once that happens. But yeah, the match was very good. Like I said, we're gonna move on to a moment of bliss where the Queen Charlotte Flair, possibly the greatest women's wrestler of all time, she's on there, and Bayley comes out there and interrupts, and it's made official. Clash of Champions, Bayley going up against the Queen of all eras, Charlotte, for the SmackDown Live Women's Title. And Bayley, like, I'm ashamed she's a Bay Arean. I think that's how you say that. She pushed down Charlotte Flair. She pushed down royalty. God damn it. Yeah.
We kind of speculated that they were going to go in this direction of Bayley and Charlotte, but I mean, I think it's a little too soon because we've kind of been there, done that. I think a little bit too many times, but I think this just shows that the women's division, especially on SmackDown, is not very deep. So I don't think you're going to go to a Bayley Mandy Rose match or whatever, because then you have the tag team division, so you can't take people from the tag team, make them singles, and blah 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 blah. So Charlotte, I guess, is the only option they have at this point.
She's the only option they have at this point. But yeah, we're gonna see where that goes. Charlotte's probably just gonna beat her, be the end of it. We don't need to see Bayley anymore. Yeah,
Maybe we get a heel turn from Bayley.
she's not doing that.
I think that's the only way to freshen her up.
She's not doing that. Hell, take her back down to NXT. Give her some life. Let her and Io Shirai go at it. I don't know.
I think now that the NXT is 2 hours and live, we could see possibly it. I mean, Triple H always says that it's a third brand, so now that it's on par with Raw and SmackDown in terms of television, maybe that we could see a lot more main roster people on NXT, and I think a lot of main roster people probably want to go to NXT if Triple H is the one being, Triple H is booking all of it, and it's a full sale every single week, so you don't have to worry about travel and all this other stuff, the house shows and blah 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 blah.
Yep, you never know who's going to show up on NXT. We're going to move on from that King of the Ring first round. We have Elias defeating Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon coming out as a special guest referee. Quick count, and Elias is victorious.
I didn't like this. I mean, Kevin Owens is already kind of fragile, I think, as it is because of all the stuff that has happened prior to this babyface turn. And then you just have him lose again. Yes, it was to Elias with Shane McMahon in the fast count and everything. But, I mean, Stone Cold, if you're going to kind of relay it back to Kevin Owens trying to be the next Stone Cold, Stone Cold did lose sometimes, but I think he didn't lose as much as I think Kevin Owens has been losing. So, and Kevin Owens, I think, should have, gotten one up on him or whatever, and this is, I think, just them trying to forward the storyline. And this, the McMahon's always got to outsmart the baby faces because he's McMahon, damn it. So, as I said, I thought this was a step back in the push of Kevin Owens.
Yeah, look, if Shane had just beat him, we wouldn't be doing this. I'm just saying that, man. Just throwing it out there.
And you would still be NX or Bullet Cast champion.
I would still be the Bullet Cast champion, but next week, All Out, I'm taking it back. So it's fine. It's fine, man.
We'll see about that.
I'd still have the Bullet Cast in the bank, so I'm gonna just use that too, man. It's okay. I'm coming back for my baby.
Yeah, maybe you can cash it in at Royal Quest, so then you can get it before All Out, and then you defend it to get it All Out, and then I win, and then you have it for a cup of coffee like you did at SummerSlam.
I'm looking at some wrestling from New Zealand. I might just use that. We don't know. We're gonna see. But we're gonna move on. Chad Gable has a backstage promo, and Shelton Benjamin's kind of playing some games with him.
They did this, a few weeks ago with Chad Gable and Elias, where Elias made a short joke, and then Chad Gable just kind of looked and took it and looked like a punk. I think he looked a little bit like a punk in this one, maybe a little bit better than the Elias segment, but I'm as a short man myself, I am not appreciating all these short jokes at Chad Gable's expense.
But Chad Gable, he's a hell of a worker, so he can work circles around Elias. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're making all these short jokes, I think he has to win, and he has to get one over on all these people, especially since I don't know what the bracket exactly looks like, but I think if you have Elias, if you have Chad Gable run the table and he beats Shelton and he beats Elias, the two people who've been making fun of him, that could be a nice little story for Chad Gable.
That could be a nice little story for Chadwick Gable. It's really, really good. The Revival defeat Heavy Machinery. It was a good match. There's nothing much to say about it.
Yeah, this is when the Revival, as a Raw tag team, challenged the SmackDown tag team champions.
Yes. And then we're going to talk about The Miz. Miz TV, Sami Zayn's on there, and he says he has a new buddy, and it's the Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura.
It's an interesting pairing if Sami Zayn is kind of the mouthpiece of Nakamura. If, Nakamura yells in Japanese and Sami Zayn's his quote-unquote translator, I don't know. That could be fun, I guess, but I don't know where they're going with this. Maybe, Sami Zayn against The Miz, Shinsuke against The Miz. Who knows?
The Miz is back in the IC title picture, it looks like.
Because that's all they can do. He's going to be like 22-time IC champ when it's all said and done.
Let's not do any of that. Let's have him in the title picture, man. I said at the beginning of the year, man, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, one of them is winning the WWE title. I'm still holding on to that.
I think at this point you have more chance of The Miz winning, especially, he is the star of Miz and Mrs.
Oh, of course. Under the Radar coming up next week or later this week.
Yeah, coming up on, I think, tomorrow. Going to talk about NXT and, of course, Miz and Mrs. recap.
All right, well, we have a superstar spotlight to get to. Who do you got, man?
I will go with Sasha Banks. I think overall, I thought she had a good promo. Maybe Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch kind of superstar spotlight because I thought both women had very good promos, and excited to see where they can go from here.
Oh, absolutely. My superstar spotlight. I think I might have to go with Sasha Banks as well. I mean, the blue hair's dope. Her new attitude's dope. Her theme song has always been dope. Sasha, you're my girl. You already know this. You know what it is. You're my superstar spotlight. But we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna talk about our promo pick of the week. It is Stephanie McMahon and Chris Jericho, SmackDown, February 21st, 2002. It's the typical Jericho Stephanie McMahon promo from this era. You know, Stephanie is cutting a promo about how great she is and her family is, and Jericho comes out and calls her a dirty, stinky, disgusting, bottom feeding trash bag. Homo sapient. Makes a joke about her breasts, how they used to be deflated, now they're inflated, like air balloons, stuff like that. What are your thoughts on the promo?
Philip, I don't want to call you out, but did you actually watch the video of the link you sent me?
Of course I did. How dare you?
Because that is not the promo that I watched, the link you sent me. It was actually them teaming up and Chris Jericho and Stephanie getting together to, take on Triple H at WrestleMania X8 or 18, whatever the hell you like to call it.
Okay, so look, hold on. I started the video, and it was late, and I may have fallen asleep during this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah.
Kayfabe.
Yeah. No, I'll shoot right now. It was late. The Podfather needed his rest so we can do this illustrious podcast, and that's what happened.
Anyways, let's move on to the close match pick of the week. Another Stephanie McMahon pick. We didn't plan this out, but they want the WWE and their whole women's revolution propaganda piece. They pretty much want you to think that the Lita Trish Stratus main event match on Raw was the first ever women's main event match that ever happened. But no, it was actually Lita versus Stephanie McMahon on this date, August 21st, 2000. 19 years ago to the day, Lita took on Stephanie McMahon for the WWF Women's Championship. The Rock was the special guest referee. Triple H and Kurt Angle was in Stephanie's corner, and Lita wins the championship. Crowd goes crazy. The Hardy Boys were in Lita's corner. It was cool. It was a short match. I mean, Lita's pretty green. Stephanie McMahon is obviously green. Not a pretty match, but the crowd was into it.
Brandon, I don't want to call you out, but I'm just playing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at BulletCast, Instagram, The BulletCast, YouTube channel, The BulletCast, email is BulletCast2, as in the number 2, sweet SWET at gmail.com, 99.9 FM KW and Watsonville every Friday night from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Patreon. We are also on Pro Wrestling Tees. Please, Pro Wrestling Tees/BulletCast. Pick up a shirt. We need to sell 24 more so we can get a new design up there. Only one has been sold, and it has been bought by yours truly. Please, ladies and gentlemen, buy a shirt. We really, really need you to. That's going to do it for the BC. Brandon, thank you so much. We are going to talk to you next week. See ya later.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.